of the semifinals, of the end of Inappropriate Movie Database, the comedy game show about content warnings. I'm your host, Nick Martucci. I am so excited to have you here tonight. We've got 4 shows left before this is over. For now, we're going to keep it open, might come back to it, but for now, we're going out with this tournament. Uh, Last episode, Josh Poirier advanced to the finale. Tonight, we see who's going to join him there for a chance to win $150. My friends here are going to guess movies based on terrible parental warnings that I have pulled from IMDb, as I've pulled, I can say thousands because I think it's about 2,000 times. Too many movies, and we're almost done with them. Let's not waste any time. Joining me on the show tonight, the person who had the highest non-winning score in the preliminaries, 18 points, beating quite a few of the winners who also moved on. Zach Jones back on the show. Welcome back, Zach.
Thank you. It's an honor to be nominated for the finals.
It's great to have you here. It would have been bad to have you get that much and just have it be over.
I'm glad you made the rules to allow that. Yeah.
One of the winners had 4 points. Also returning to the show from the same episode, also a non-winner, but one of the high scores with 8 points, Casey McNeal. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, I got matched with Zach. He kills me every time.
I mean, 8 points, I'm pretty sure, is your record with this show. So we'll see how you do tonight.
For sure.
Also returning to the show, not a winner, but a high score in the last round of 4 points. Mike Giordano's back on the show.
They're going to be like, not a winner, but a giant loser. Mike Giordano.
Mike Giordano, same score as Lloyd Legacy Sharp when he got into the semifinals.
Yeah, but I mean, he had a low score, but he played great defense.
And finally, the one winner from last round that is in this game also got the high score of the winners of the last round, of anybody in the last round, with 20 points. Kari Taylor back on the show.
Woo!
Oh,
Winner, chicken dinner.
Fun. So
I will say, only tied with Josh Poirier's last show, so the semifinals. So you still currently have the highest score in the finale tournament.
Oh, well, we'll see how I can crash and burn with this episode tonight. So who knows?
Well, it's gonna be weird because we are running out of movies quickly. Which is gonna really surprise you when some movies come up. But I'm not gonna put that off any longer. Let's jump into it. It would also help if I had your names on my score sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I've got everything. Like I was saying before we started, 250 more episodes, I will nail this game. Casey, you were going to pick our first year for us. Would you like a movie from 1946, 1998, or 2016?
Of course, I'll take 46.
Of course you'll take 46.
And no, I wasn't alive.
Why? What happened to you that year? 1946, if anybody wants to pre-guess for 5 points, this movie is based on a book. It's got over 90% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. And the hero of this movie is featured on AFI's list of the greatest heroes in film.
No.
Mike,
what do you think this movie is?
is it The Wizard of Oz?
It is not The Wizard of Oz.
1939.
Yeah, I knew it was in that area, that neighborhood.
Casey, the first time that he has the opportunity to be smug about it, he will. All right, for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, a real helpful clue. The villains are evil and intimidating. For 4 points under sex and nudity, one major plot point revolves around finding stolen pictures of Carmen Sternwood that are presumably pornographic. However, due to censoring, nothing is mentioned outright.
Zach.
Zach, what do you think this movie is?
Is this The Big Sleep?
This is The Big Sleep.
Woo! Nice.
I've-
Excellent play.
Yeah.
Excellent play.
I've read most of the Philip Marlowe stories, and I had to think about. I know the name of the character, but I haven't seen the movie. So
I knew it was something noir from the year, even, because most of the stuff in that year in that era was like noir film.
Oh yeah, the 40s were heavy on noir.
I very nearly buzzed in to say Chinatown because that was the first noir movie I could think of.
Chinatown is neo-noir.
Yeah.
Bogart as Marlowe ranks 32nd on AFI's greatest heroes chart.
I did think when you said the AFI the hero, I did think Bogart.
AFI loves Bogart.
But then I started thinking about Casablanca and the Maltese Falcon and everything. I couldn't remember the years. I was just baffled. And then Zach comes in with the play of the game.
Yeah, game's over. Let's go home.
Yeah, wow. Woo.
Other clues in this: sex and nudity. Movie is remembered for shattering sexual innuendo boundaries. There are countless sexual references, including one racy conversation between the two leads that likens horse racing to sexual intercourse, and gay characters. However, though the innuendos may have been eyebrow-raising back then, they are quite mild by today's standards. Violence and gore. There are several brandishings of guns, and several people are shot bloodlessly. Marlowe is drugged and kidnapped. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Some social drinking. Bacall and Bogart are never seen without their cigarettes, which are prevalent in almost every frame.
So it's not a movie about people taking naps. That's not what I'm getting from these clues.
I wish I could. I know it's 9:15 where I am, and I could go for regular sleep, but a nap sounds good too. Zach is at 4 points. Casey and Carrie both at 0. Mike at -1. Carrie, would you like a movie from 2003, 2015, or 2022?
2015?
2015. Okay, this movie from 2015 is a directorial debut. It's set at least partly in New England, and IMDb calls it a fantasy.
What year?
2015. Okay, for 5 points under sex and nudity. Woman is shown nursing a baby without explicit nudity. Young boy tries to catch glimpses of his older sister's cleavage. For 4 points under violence and gore, the violence in this movie is quite severe. It is not to the extent that many are used to, nothing like Hostel or similar movies, but quite detailed and not overplayed for dramatic effect.
Zach.
Zach, what do you think?
Is this the Vivitch, the witch with the bees?
This is the Vivitch.
Should have got it with like the weird incest, like trying to look at your sister's titties.
Robert Eggers' directorial debut, The Witch.
Yes. If you ask me, though, all movies set in New England are fantasy.
Also in The Witch, sex and nudity, bare-chested man outdoors scene as daughter removes his dirty shirt. Missing boy returns home nude, no explicit nudity. A nude old woman is seated hunched over. Rear nudity is plainly seen. Group of fully nude women are seen in the woods, mostly in the distance, with breasts and pubic hair visible. Frightening and intense scenes,
Spoiler
several
alert.
extended sequences involving disturbed or possessed children. And profanity, a few instances of damn, hell, bitch, and whore, which are talking about witchcraft and the fate of their family. Zach is dominating at 8 points. Everyone else stays where they are.
Eesh.
Mike, would you like a movie from 1994, 2005, or 2020?
Go with 94.
94. This movie from 1994 has a titular place. It's based on a book, and it's featured in IMDb's top 250 movies of all time. Okay, for 5 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a man says he can get people reefers. No other interaction or any smoking or using it, however, at all.
Zach,
Zach, what do you think?
is this Shawshank Redemption?
For 5 points, this is The Shawshank Redemption. At a 9.2 out of 10, it is the number one movie of all time, according to IMDb.
I was going to say, it's number one on IMDb. Yeah.
And only just now used on the show.
Wow. That
Really?
Yeah, that was my only thing. I was like,
it seems like
surely
it's
that's
been
come
guessed-
up already, right?
It's been guessed a lot. They get over the past.
Also in Shawshank, violence and gore. A man is hit 5 times and kicked once. He tries to crawl away, but is dragged off screen and is implied to be still beaten up. He's seen injured and bruised in a wheelchair for a few seconds, and we hear he spent the rest of his life in a hospital. Not for kids. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Prisoners deal cigarettes secretly among the bed sheets. Frightening and intense scenes. Prisoners torment and verbally attack new people who've just arrived. Their reactions can be a bit difficult to watch as they scream and cry. And frightening and intense scenes, a man is splashed with sewage, then crawls through a sewer pipe. The narration states that the sewage is excrement.
This is,
Yep.
This is just sort of like the media literacy of like the average reviewer. Like, that is like one of the least frightening and intense. It is like one of the most joyous scenes in the history of film. It is not frightening or intense at all. You're like, yeah, he got out.
Let that be known, Zach would not find it intense if you covered him in human shit.
I'm saying, if you versus life in prison, it's close.
Yeah.
For me to get some points, you got to do some movies that aren't as good.
Zach's now at
I don't know
13
the good
points.
movies,
Zach is also picking our next movie. Would you like a movie from 1981, 2008, or 2011?
2008.
2008. This movie from 2008 features at least one musician in the cast. There's a titular character, and it was nominated for a Teen Choice Award for Choice Summer Movie. I like that I don't have to use themes for full episodes now, so I can throw in some ones that I wanted to do. All right, for 5 points under 6 in nudity. There will be a YouTube video clip of a beach that has a woman running in bikini from behind, and there will be another woman running / standing in bikinis. Men will be fully clothed in t-shirts and shorts. It's at 23 minutes, 37 seconds.
I love the future tense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Not that there
It's
is,
coming.
but there's gonna be one.
There's gonna be a
They're
YouTube
working
video.
on it.
Look out for
Just give
those
them
fully clothed
time.
men.
Can you read it again? The tense threw me off.
Sure can. There will be a YouTube video clip of a beach that has a woman running in bikini from behind, and there will be other women running / standing in bikinis. Men will be fully clothed in t-shirts and shorts, and if this helps, it happens at 23 minutes, 37 seconds into the movie.
There's one woman in multiple bikinis.
There are
That's
multiple women
confusing.
running or standing in bikinis, and
Oh,
one
they
woman
each have a
in
bikini.
and one woman in bikini.
Okay.
For 4 points under frightening and intense scenes, the villain wears an intimidating black mask and goggles.
Um, 2008.
Okay, for 3 points under sex and nudity. In one scene, you can see a man with burning clothes entering an ice cream truck. His buttocks are exposed.
Mike,
Mike, what do you think?
Ghost Rider?
It is not Ghost
Okay.
Rider.
Oh, that was a good guess, though.
I don't think teens like that movie, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is a teen choicey thing or something.
For 2 points under violence and gore. During a police car chase, the main character bursts through a sign, causing cop cars to crash, but none are killed. Also featured in the car chase, 3 gang members shoot the main character in the face with no effect. But then he gets angry and picks up the car the gang members are in, smashes it on a building without harming them, and scares the gang members.
All right, so we're getting into this superhuman territory. What are we...
Saw so many movies in 2008, and I can't remember a single one.
All right, for 1 point under profanity. Besides the 16 other clearly heard uses of ass, the scene where the hero saves a man from a train, a crowd starts insulting him, and asshole
Zach.
and drunk asshole is used. Zach, what do you think?
Oh,
Is this Hancock?
This is
yeah.
Will Smith and Hancock.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember a villain in that movie.
I don't hardly remember the movie.
I've never seen this movie.
I've never seen this movie. Yes.
Seen it and I've forgotten pretty much all of it.
Yeah, it's one of those forgettable ones.
Okay, well, Zach, now at 14 points. Casey and Carrie both at 0, Mike down to -2.
At least I'm keeping it moving.
That's right, buddy. That's right. You dare to be wrong.
Casey, we're back up to you. Would you like a movie from 2001, 2014, or 2024?
2024.
Okay.
Ooh.
This movie from 2024 has an animal in the title. It features an actor named Josh, and it's a 2-word title.
Animal.
For 5 points, this movie from 2024 under violence and gore. Many a poor fool are smacked around by a rough and tumble type of fella. All the kills are as good as bloodless. There is no gore whatsoever. This movie has poor fools and a rough and tumble type of fella.
Zach,
Zach, what do you think?
is this The Beekeeper?
We are all just sitting watching Zach play this game.
Oh,
This
man.
is The
I saw-
Beekeeper.
Yes, I saw that too. So I'm embarrassed to myself because I thought an animal in the title is bee is not an animal, really.
A bee is an animal. Bugs are animals.
Okay.
I was stuck on a similar thing. I was like, Roadhouse isn't an animal.
Yeah, right.
And I knew people would be upset with that, so I made sure I did multiple Google searches, verifying, yes, the world agrees that bugs are animals. Josh Hutcherson is in it. He's the Josh.
Oh.
Other clues in there. Climax fight can be intense for some viewers. It showcases a continuous fight scene in a manner with many people shot, stabbed, punched, and killed. Violence and gore. A man punches another man seated in a car, pulls him out, wraps a belt around his arms and torso that is attached to a pickup truck. The attacker engages the truck and it speeds off a bridge, dragging the wrapped up man behind it and into the water as he screams. Violence and
really
gore.
no blood in this movie?
No, just honey.
Apparently, that first guy thought that this is virtually bloodless and no gore whatsoever. At the first call center, Clay attempts to intimidate the scammers by smashing a dial phone down onto a man's head several times. The aftermath is only briefly seen as the man limps away afterwards. And violence and gore, a man throws a jar of honey on a woman and lights the liquid. When you see the woman in flames, she falls to the ground screaming and dies.
Honey flammable?
Apparently, honey's flammable. It surprises the people in the movie, too. But that's just something you know if you're a beekeeper.
It's not.
I challenge. Carrie's
Yes, sugar is flammable, right?
Yeah. You ever try to make caramel?
That's pretty much sugar and fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, according to Google, pure honey will burn, while adulterated honey will not due to the added water content. So
the pure shit wasn't stepped on.
They had to clarify in the movie. Was this pure, like straight from the hive?
Straight from the bees. Yeah.
Okay.
He's got the bees. He's got the honey.
I'm the beekeeper. The honey's gonna burn. Haven't seen it. Assume that's what he says.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. It is.
And though it's bloodless.
I remember quite a bit of graphic stuff, but maybe I'm making it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of ass kicking. You
know? Zach's up to 19 points.
Oh, goodbye.
Kari gets to pick the next movie. Would you like a movie from 1954, 2003, or 2006?
2003.
2003.
I mean, let's be real. Zach's gonna still get it with no matter what year. So.
I'm not usually this. I've kind of been on a hot streak here. This is not me usually.
This movie from 2003 features at least one musician in the cast. It's based on a book, and it also has an animal in the title.
Musician cast.
For 5 points under violence and gore, we briefly see Edward playing American football, including pushing and running across a man's back.
No.
For 4 points under sex and nudity, a woman is seen giving birth, and the baby flies out and glides across the hospital naked. Only the woman's anguished face.
Zach,
I've
seen this.
This is Big Fish.
This is Big Fish.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Damn it.
The cast features Miley Cyrus and Loudon Wainwright III.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus is in it.
I didn't know that.
How old was she?
Yeah,
Real young Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
One of the little kids in like the little flashbacks of the dad's stories. And he's like talking about being a kid.
It's a great freaking movie, man.
This is another movie I haven't seen.
Great in that. What?
When he tells the story about meeting a little girl with the
I haven't seen
voice of an old man.
Oh man, you should see. It's the kind of movie that you would like.
Big Fish is a great movie. It's like a little like glimpse into like what Tim Burton could have done if he decided to keep making
his last good movie.
Instead of just becoming like a Hot Topic salesman.
Yeah,
it's a good. I missed it when it came out, and by the time that I thought I should see this movie, Tim Burton had already fallen off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I really need to see. At the same time, I did see his Dumbo, so I don't know what's holding me back from Big Fish.
No, it's great.
Boy.
It's
Well, if your favorite part of Dumbo was Danny DeVito as a ringleader, he is also that in Big Fish. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Part of the trilogy of Danny DeVito wears a top hat in the Tim Burton movie.
yes, that's true.
Finish the set.
Also in this movie, frightening and intense scenes, a cat dives off a high platform and into a cushion as part of a circus act. Frightening and intense scenes, Edward tells his son about a story about a witch. It turns out, however, the witch is friendly. The witch then shows the children her glass eye, which one can see one's death. And violence and gore, there's a brief moment where young Edward wrestles a large fish to get his wedding ring back, which it promptly delivers.
Titular Big Fish.
We are halfway through this game. Zach has all of the points, 23 to be exact.
Yeesh.
Mike, you get to pick this movie, and I hope it's a movie you know. You want a movie from 1999, 2002, or 2017?
Go for the greatest year in film, 1999.
1999. This movie from 1999 was written and directed by the same person. It features an actor who has played Doctor Who, and IMDb calls it a mystery.
Oh, fuck.
For 5 points under violence and gore, a man gets shot in the face 2 times. Half of his face is ripped open, showing gory details and chunks of flesh and skin hanging out of his wound. For 4 points under violence and gore, a man shoots a tooth gun, hitting a woman's shoulder.
Mike.
Mike, what do you think?
Is it Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
It is not Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. For 3 points under violence and gore, a man has an explosive device shoved in a small hole in his back. A woman presses a button and his lower back opens in a rain of blood spatter.
I'm lost. I had no idea.
I have to see this
I'm
movie.
sure I would remember that. Yeah, I'm sure I would remember that.
For 2 points under sex and nudity, throughout the film, anus-like bioports are shown frequently in the backs of people, so no genitalia are shown.
That's comforting.
It's not. What?
All right, last clue for 1 point under frightening and intense scenes. The game requires a port in one's back, which has to be penetrated with an umbilical cord resembling. Did somebody say something? Carrie, what do you think?
Is it Existence?
This is Existence.
Oh, good job.
David Cronenberg's Existence.
I was like, it can't be The Matrix. Doctor Who wasn't in that.
This features Christopher Eccleston. Yeah, it's weird that this movie and The Matrix came out at the same year.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to see that. I want to see.
Was it Jude Law and Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah, I feel like that's right. I've never seen it. I just remember my friend Liz watched it recently when it was like on Tubi or something, because she'll like review weird movies that she finds on Tubi, and that one was just memorable.
It's a Cronenberg movie. They tend to
good.
Yep, they stick with you.
Zach is at 23. Kari right behind in second place at 1, Casey at 0, Mike at -3.
Did you say that for the second clue that somebody got shot with a tooth gun?
Somebody gets shot with a tooth gun.
What is
That
that?
made me think of bullet tooth, but that might be
I
Snatch.
would say, having
Like-
never seen the movie, exactly as advertised.
So a gun made out of teeth?
No, a gun that shoots.
The bullets have got to be teeth.
The bullets.
Yeah,
I would
you're
think
like-
that the gun might also be
That's what I
made out
meant.
of teeth. There's a lot of
Teeth all the way down.
there's a lot of
Oh.
anatomical props in this movie. Zach, would you like a movie from 1998, 2003, or 2016?
I'll go 2003.
2003. This movie from 2003 is a sequel. There's a gendered word in the title, and it's got at least one musician in the cast. We're hitting all of these
Mike.
tonight. Mike, what do you think?
Spider-Man 2.
It is not Spider-Man
Ah.
2.
What's the year?
2003.
Okay. Good guess, though.
For 5 points under sex and nudity, 2 rats are shown having sex. This part lasts about 16 seconds.
Oh, I feel like I know what this is.
It's definitely a thing that you know. I think I saw that. For 4 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, the whole plot revolves around ecstasy. People do ecstasy in a nightclub. A man accidentally gets high on ecstasy and starts acting spaced out and affectionate. This is because 2 ecstasy pills accidentally land in a glass that he fills with water, and he drinks it by mistake, not knowing that the pills were in there. This is played for laughs.
No, the rats fucking was more familiar. This I'm not sure anymore.
For 3 points under sex and nudity, Marcus hides on a table with a naked female corpse on it. Marcus turns and looks at the corpse very briefly, but then he removes the sheet and her breasts are in full. Her breasts are shown again. This movie keeps going back to her breasts.
It's familiar again. What the fuck is this?
For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes, definitely Michael Bay's most violent movie.
Mike,
Mike, what do you think?
Bad Boys 2.
This is Bad Boys 2. Not recommended for people adverse to violence, according to that clue. Featuring the aforementioned Will Smith, as well as Henry Rollins, who was in every action movie between like 92 and 2005.
He's awesome, man.
Last clue in there, the movie's heroes are policemen who are shown using guns and physical violence to settle conflict. They're frequently operating outside of the law, killing criminals, threatening and endangering civilians, and causing mass destruction of property. The film frames their actions as humorous, exciting, and heroic. There's no serious moral or legal consequences for their actions.
Like regular cops.
They are bad boys. It is in the title. I mean,
that means Zach at 23, Kari at 1, Casey at 0. Mike has moved up to -2. 4 movies remain, 1 more for each of you. Casey, would you like a movie from, you're going to love these years, 2005, 2020, or 2022?
2020. We watched a lot of movies that year.
All right, 2020.
is it Plandemic?
2020, this movie features a titular character. It's based on a true story, and it's got under a 5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Under 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, so what'd you say? It's based on a true story. It's got
based on a titular character, and it's a bad movie.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
For 5 points under violence and gore, a man soils himself 3 times. For the second time, fecal matter is shown. And for the last time, his diaper is shown drooping. For 4 points, under violence and gore, in a fit of rage, a man shoots an alligator down. Blood and the corpse is shown.
This movie's all over the place.
Mike,
what do you think?
Is it Joe Dirt 2?
I know that is based on a true story, but it is not Joe Dirt 2.
Oh, God.
They made a Joe Dirt 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they released it on like
during
Crackle.
It was straight to a fake streaming service.
Yes.
Joe Dirt's based off of a true story?
Yeah,
Joe Dirt is not. Joe Dirt 2 is.
Joe Dirt 2.
Oh, okay.
For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, a few horror-esque sequences show up, including one where a man cut his eyes out off frame and places the eyes on someone's stomach as they lay in bed. We see the open wounds as they bleed for maybe 10 to 15 seconds, and the cut eyeballs for a tad shorter.
Why'd they pick this year?
For 2 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story, if you can believe it. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking. The main character smokes a cigar in almost every scene for the first half of the movie. Due to his condition, he ceases smoking and places a carrot instead.
Is it Bad Lieutenant Are you second Bad Lieutenant here? Movie with Nicolas Cage?
Are you taking a guess here, Mike?
Yeah, that's the guess.
It is not Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Port of Call. Okay, I was saying Pret-a-Porte.
It has a titular character.
The classic.
He is the Bad Lieutenant.
Okay.
Classic combination of Nicolas Cage, Michael Shannon, and Werner Herzog.
Ooh.
Oh, and Exhibit.
Great.
Don't forget Exhibit.
I forgot Exhibit. It's like that one Exhibit song with Eminem. 1 point under violence and gore. During a flashback of Al's glory days, at a party, gunfire is heard. As a woman gets shot in the head, blood and matter splatter all over his face. As he walks out, numerous bodies are shown on the floor with bloody injuries and puddles. And as he crawls through the pile of bodies, Carrie, what do you think?
I want to say it's just called Capone, but it's like the Al Capone biopic with like Tom Hardy that nobody saw.
This is Capone.
Oh.
Josh Trank's fascinating Tom Hardy Al Capone biopic.
Was it that terrible?
Didn't even know this existed.
Because I watch anything Tom Hardy's in, but that sounds terrible.
I will say in this movie, Al Capone soils himself 3 times. Once you see fecal matter, the other time his diaper's drooping. He also smokes a carrot and cuts his eyes out and shoots an alligator. It's supposed to be like Al Capone in his older days just fucking falling apart.
With syphilis?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, Zach at 23, Carrie at 2, Casey at 0, Mike at -4. Carrie, would you like a movie from 1981, 2001, or 2011?
81.
81. This movie from 1981, the title is a full sentence. It also has a pronoun in the title and features at least one teen protagonist.
Already regret picking it, but okay.
For 5 points under violence and gore, a guy's neck is crushed by weightlifting apparatus and blood sprays everywhere.
Well, what movie doesn't have that?
For 4 points under violence and gore, a guy has his face pulled into a moving motorcycle wheel after his scarf was thrown in. We see a brief image of blood spray against his face.
But you said this was a full sentence movie?
I said the title is a full sentence. For 3 points under violence and gore, there's a scene where a girl goes through brain surgery. You can see the skin and skull get cut open with exposed brain. Very bloody. At one point, the brain starts to swell out of her skull. Very graphic.
Whoa.
Classic 81. Remember when Shawshank was used on this episode? For 2 points under violence and gore, a guy has a shish kebab shoved into his mouth and blood pours out.
I'm going to be so mad when I know what this is.
For 1 point under frightening and intense scenes, all of the death scenes and the blood surgery scene, brain surgery scene, and the car accident scene, and the ending birthday party.
That was a sentence?
Those are some frightening and intense scenes in this movie.
Okay. Yes.
All of the death scenes and the brain surgery scene and a car accident and the ending birthday party.
So the title is a complete sentence, but
sure is.
That
is
warning
not.
is not. Okay.
Again, full sentence, pronoun in the title, teen protagonists. Doesn't look like anybody knows this one. The poster of it features a guy with a shish kebab shoved into his mouth. And it is called Happy Birthday to Me.
Oh.
It's a slasher classic.
I got a whole list of movies to see now after this game.
The weird thing is I'm pretty sure a guy getting beheaded with his scarf on a motorcycle happens in Pet Sematary 2. And
it's a
the voice of Mr. Krabs.
There's a few of those things.
Yep.
Yeah. Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
Who also appears in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, as the super evil prison guard. Yeah. The duality of man. Mr. Krabs, evil prison guard, you know?
2 movies left. Mike, would you like a movie from 1954, 2006, or 2014?
2014.
2014. This movie from 2014 was written and directed by the same person. Also happens to be that person's directorial debut. It's got over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. And despite its title, it's not a superhero movie. That's one of those clues that's going to make everything so much harder.
Is that a category on IMDb?
What? Not Casey. A superhero movie?
Yeah.
Casey.
No. Casey, what do you think?
Birdman.
It is not Birdman, but great guess.
That might be about the year. Yeah, I'm trying to remember where the hell I was in 2014.
For 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, the film's tone has a disturbing feeling, even though there really isn't anything disturbing and may cause unease in the viewer. The lead character is extremely antisocial and sociopathic, with strong shifts in his demeanor. For 4 points under sex and nudity, Bill Paxton says a line about dick sucking. This happens 46 minutes into the film.
Oh boy.
For 3 points under sex and nudity, a man tries to convince an older woman to have a sexual relationship, and she replies, quote, "Friends don't pressure friends to fucking sleep together." This woman, Carrie, what do you think?
Nightcrawler?
It's got the same name as an X-Men. This is Nightcrawler.
Oh.
I did see that. I forgot Bill Paxton was in that.
I didn't see it.
It's a good one.
Other clues, the movie has quick glimpses of bloody deaths seen from news broadcasts, but these are all very quick and hard to really notice. Lewis gets stressed and starts screaming in the bathroom. He then ends up breaking a mirror in rage. And the whole film deals with a television news network who is shown exploiting people's emotions and fears by showing graphic crimes. One movie remains. Zach, would you like a movie from 1998, 2011, or 2016?
Let's go with 2011.
2011. This movie, also written and directed by the same person, it features at least 2 actors from the same family. And this is just a fun thing to add. This won a Women Film Critics Circle Award for Worst Female Images in a Movie. For 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, the film opens with some mild but unsettling images and strange music, which may be intense for some viewers. The ending of the film is very sad and very intense. For 4 points under sex and nudity, a 1-minute scene of full frontal nudity featuring 2 extended close-ups of her bare breasts explicitly displayed, including sexual self-fondling while another secretly watches.
These are the 2 relatives. Okay, we're playing non-relatives.
For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, a woman is so depressed that she can't eat or take a bath. For 2 points under violence and gore, 3 people sit inside a teepee made of sticks. In the background, an extremely large planet slowly approaches Earth.
Larry,
Carrie, what do you think?
is this Melancholia?
This is Lars von Trier's Melancholia.
Lars von Trier getting an award for worst portrayals of women?
Can you believe it?
Say.
Also features Stellan and Alexander Skarsgård in this movie.
Of course, yeah.
I hate him, but I really like this movie. Like,
Which Skarsgård?
Kristen Dunst is so good in this movie.
Which Skarsgård do you hate?
I meant Lars von Trier, but I'm gonna
Oh.
say, oh,
I mean,
I
there's
don't
so
know.
many Skarsgårds.
There's
There
so
are like
many
secret
Many.
Skarsgård.
Stellan
So many of
Skarsgård's
them.
so
And the
good.
ones that we know their names of are good.
Yeah, right. The one that was in the superhero movies and also the dragon tattoo girl movies. That guy's good. Stellan
Stellan.
Skarsgård.
Stellan.
Yes.
Yeah, Mamma Mia's own Stellan Skarsgård. The only Swede in that movie. Last clue in there, just to wrap this up. A planet is on crash course for Earth, and the story is centered around this fact. It's clearly a metaphor for depression, which can be intense for some. All of humanity is destroyed in an instant.
I didn't
Family
see that one.
fun.
This is too mainstream movie.
I think that's also you shouldn't be sneaking your cinema like your criticism into your let me decide. You just tell me if there's boobs and cursing. Let me decide what the metaphors are.
Zach, have you seen this movie?
No.
The
Is
movie
there
does
no
not let you
genitalia
decide
penetration in this movie?
what the metaphor is.
Okay.
The movie makes it very clear.
Okay.
I remember
And is
a
it-
review at the time, less of a review, more of a description, was just that the movie is about a woman who is so depressed, even the end of the world can't move her.
And is there no depiction of penetrative sex in this movie? Because I feel like that would have been a dead giveaway.
That would have been a dead good. I don't think there's any penetration in this movie. He learned his lesson after the
Every other
8
movie?
or 9 movies that he did with it. I was gonna say 2, and then I remembered 3 more. Anyway, that is the end of our game. Our final scores tonight: Mike with -4, Casey with -1, Kari, the only one playing the second half of the game, at 7, and Zach, who just took a vacation after the first half of the game, is our winner tonight with 23 points.
Woo! Nice.
Yeah, Zach, you didn't answer at all after that.
Yeah, well,
Why should he risk it?
No, I mean, I'm not. It's not like I would have gladly like run up the score and done touchdown dance. It was just very weighted towards movies I knew at the beginning and not towards the end.
You could have
the
afforded to
beginning
give
was
a
all the
joke
good
answer the
movies.
rest of
The
the
end
game.
was all the weird movies.
All of them were. I only knew one movie in this.
Well, that is the show. We have Zach joining Josh Poirier in the finale.
Woo!
This has been so much fun. Thank you all for doing this. You are 4 people that I wished I could have had on the show more. So I'm really glad I was able to bring you all in at least 2 more times.
Yay!
Before we go, if there's anything you want to promote, anywhere you want to be found, or just any last words you want to say before we end this. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I'll be at Union Comedy in Somerville tomorrow night with my team Clyde at the weekend show at 7:30, and we're there most weekends of every month. And yeah, and I think I said it last time, but I think I mean it this time. I'm never coming on the show again.
Mike, I'm going to get you back in. It's going to take 200 more episodes, but you will be back here. Casey, what would you like to say before we go?
I'm headlining McHugh's Comedy Club on Saturday night. And for anybody national, I'm at the Punchline in San Francisco, September 10th through the 12th.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, go see Casey if he pops up around you, or check out his special on Prime. Is it on Prime?
Yeah, on Prime, Highly Disordered. Please check it out. I think I get money, but so So they've
I mean, it
soft-sold.
is Amazon. How much money can you possibly
Yeah,
get?
right.
Kari, is there anything you would like to say?
I mean, other than it's been a joy to be able to do this whenever, I've been able to. I don't have anything really to promote other than, I don't know, you can check out your local library because those are always great resources and they're free. And sometimes they have like, I don't know, things like Canopy where you can stream movies for free from your libraries, and that'll help your local library too. So I don't know. It's my last words of wisdom that I have.
I
For
mean,
you.
that is a great recommendation. If you have a library card and you don't have Canopy, fix that. It's free, and unlike Tubi or Roku or Pluto or Crackle, some of the movies are good and there's no commercials.
A hoopla
There's
Uh,
also
man
another
myself.
one. You might if you might go to like a there's some library systems are like second rate and have another streaming service. I don't remember the name of, but
I think Hoopla.
Hoopla, yes.
Yeah, it's the one I use. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got both of them.
Okay.
Uh, Canopy is
Canopy?
only movies and TV, I think, and Hoopla is also ebooks and audiobooks. Libraries fucking rock. If they didn't already exist, there's no way America would let libraries happen. So go to them.
Right.
Finally, our winner tonight and new record for the tournament. Zach, is there anything you want to say before we go?
You can book me. I'm out here. I'm doing this show. I don't have a lot of going on other than this. And Tyler Derniak's leaving Boston, and he was the only one who booked me on shows around here. So I would love somebody to book me. And if you can't book me, if you either have bad taste or don't have the capacity as a booker, then your local food pantry could use some help. So check them out.
Yeah, go book Zach Jones and Casey and me. You can book people. I'm gonna have a lot more free time soon. And I'm okay, especially if you're in Boston and you want to see a chubby sad guy tell dumb jokes. Tyler Derniak's leaving, so you can see me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Once again, Casey McNeal, Mike Giordano, Kari Taylor, Zach Jones. I'm Nick Martucci. You can find me on all social media at Blundering Idiom. Find the show on Facebook if you search Inappropriate Movie Database or click the link in the description of this video. That's where you can get all the information about the rest of the tournament, as well as keep up with the people who you enjoyed watching on it. We're going to keep that group going because I really have come to, tolerate that community. It's one of the least toxic Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Especially involving a bunch of Boston comedians. We will be back next Monday night, August 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, right on this channel, with Game 3 of the semifinals. It's a supersized episode. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be Liz Esty, Connor Shanahan, Haley Akers, Kevin Brady, and Hal Griffin. So watch that. Catch up on the shows that you've missed. There's almost 250 of them. Some of them are pretty good. If you want, there's a whole playlist of them. Put that playlist on and, I don't know, die. Do something. I can get those views. Just let that keep running. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye, everybody.